Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. In the morning. My name is Paul B. Buddy will be joining us shortly. Yeah, fresh edition is happening right now. Let's just go on and fire it up, man. First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Once again, good morning to you. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. It's happening right now at 7 o'clock if you believe in the concept of time. And what is the date here? March 2nd, 2026. Guess it's a Monday, isn't it? How was your weekend? Lots went down over the weekend. We'll definitely be talking about it. And a lot more stories coming up as well. Got to get kind of serious this morning about a few things, unfortunately. But, of course, we're going to bring hopefully a well-rounded conversation about everything that's been going on and everything that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. We really appreciate you getting up early with us this morning. Do us a favor right away. Share the show. If you are on Facebook, you can share it on your page. And, of course, if you're on YouTube, you can share the link. Anybody who you think would be benefiting from this conversation and adding to it is what we're looking for. I'm going to jump right in, man, because like I said, but we're waiting on Buddy to come on through. He should be here shortly. RG says, come on with it, y'all. Good morning. He's ready and riled up, ready to go. I love that. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Pop says, good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate you getting up. Hope everything is well over on your side of the world. Also, Marla Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family, and happy motivational Monday. We love that. Mark Manor gives us a good morning as well. Really appreciate everybody that's coming in this morning. For the people that are giving us the good mornings, I'm going to go ahead and shout you guys out first. Pops dropped his Lost Anthology Volume 2 yesterday on Sunday, and he dropped the link. If you're so inclined, go to his Facebook page and get the link. Go check it out. I was talking to him yesterday a little bit about this drop. So, Pops, this is really interesting to me. I kept thinking about it after you said it, but this is kind of a test to see, how the market is going now. Before we would maybe drop our music on places that would get it to Spotify and all these other places. But yeah, go to your own personal site, download it from you personally. Yeah, I'm highly encouraging everybody to go do that. It's the future. I think LaRussell really got something going on. If you don't know about LaRussell, he's a rapper out in the Bay Area. And he's been really kind of flying that flag right now. Like, come to the artist personally and buy the work. And also shout out to Mark Manor because, he's with Homers, and the physical music scene is just coming back so strongly that a lot of artists I know are going that route. There's a lot of artists touring the country right now, which is a trip, selling CDs out of their trunk as like a publicity stunt. Like, here's how we used to do it in the 90s. We're doing it again. Physical media, buying direct from the artist, huge things. So Pops is right on in the middle of that. And so definitely check this out. Go to his Facebook page or Pops, if you have a link or your website link, drop it in the chat for me as well. And we'll definitely talk about that. So shout out to Pops doing the work, man, putting it in. Also shout out to Mark Manor, who is also in the game as well. I lost your flow. Oh, here it is. I lost your flyer, but here it is, the dark stuff. He's already on the podcast tip as well, so go check this out wherever you get your podcast. I'm loving this episode 1, Best Albums of 1996, man. Really talking about some hip-hop and what I consider one of the golden eras. So shout out to Mark Manor. And, of course, Mark Manor, like we said, Homers, get your record collection right. Get your physical media right for sure. And, join the phenomenon. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who is in the game. Shout out to Terry Sanders. I'm going to give Terry Sanders some love from Omaha Star. She just started her podcast as well, the Omaha Star Morning News Bites. So shout out to her. She's doing this thing, and I think that it's like a 2 or 3 minute kind of news bite in the morning, 7 o'clock, and she'll let you know what's going on in Omaha, what the haps are, and so on and so forth. I think it's really interesting that she's doing this. This kind of reminds me of what we were doing with our TikTok at one point. But this is an audio broadcast, and she went the route of you can get it anywhere you can get podcasts. So if you can go to Apple Podcasts, or you can go to Spotify, you can go to all these different places and pick this up. And as a matter of fact, I'll put the link in the chat for you. Definitely check this out. The Omaha Star Morning morning news bites. So I'll try to get it here. I'm seeing having some technical difficulties. Here we go. Okay, I'll grab it like that. Yeah, go ahead and check this out in the chat. I'll put this in the chat. You can hit that link and go check her out and get that too. So yeah, appreciate that very much. Oh, I still got this thing on the screen up. Mark Manor in the chat says music is moving in that direction. Artists are realizing that streaming on Spotify is not building fan bases. Spotify is so problematic. They are not really paying artists. They're just it's like another one of them Broligarch kind of situations, man. The rich, the top guys are getting super rich off the art. People are left and right are pulling their stuff from Spotify and Apple Music and all these other places. And it really is going to that. Bandcamp is like booming again because people realize you can go to Bandcamp, go to that artist directly and buy from the artist. So, and there's some other places like that too. I think LaRussell's, I forget which one LaRussell's using. He's using a whole other one too that you can go to their site, find him, pay what you want. That's another feature that they're doing right now. He's in the news for, people paying upwards of $2,000 for his situation. It's a trip. Speaking of a trip, my man, Buddy the God, back on the road, back in the room.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for holding it down. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to, in the morning, especially community updates and stuff like that. We always got a lot to talk about. So I appreciate everybody that's getting up talking about it. We were just talking about Pop's drop, the music industry. I'm glad you're back because you're really in the music industry right now in a huge way.
Yes, sir.
You can attest to the fact that music is going back to this idea of physical media, first of all, and then buying direct from the artist, second of all. Shout out to LaRussell. Shout out to Pops. Pops was connected, CD Baby and all that stuff. And then he said he's pulling back and he's going to drop his drop on his own website. So you can go there and buy it from him directly. And so, just that's kind of what we were talking about right now before you got back. But what say you on that, on the music side?
Yeah, man, it's all changing. The company you were thinking of, LaRussell's Even.biz.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, yes, it is a model where artists can kind of charge what they want for their downloads and their physical copies. But yeah, man, it beyond just the music model, I think just increasing fans' connection with the artist. Again, we think because we can stream and watch what an artist is doing 24/7 that there's real connection. But J. Cole, who just dropped his Fall Off album, went back to his old, used his old car and drove around the country, going direct to consumer, actually selling, his project, his album for $1. And you think of a legacy artist like J. Cole, who, is top of the game. But he experienced, like looking at the likes and the shares and the numbers and things. It kind of goes to what you always say about living alive with one another. Like when you're on the screen, man, it's just numbers, it's just numbers and names on the screen. But when you're in person and you can feel that energy and feel that real love, it's different. So got to get back outside. It's definitely time to get back outside. Actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm working on making my way to South by Southwest. Speaking of being outside, get some guys that at the studio that I work at are going to be performing down there, South by Southwest. If you don't know, major music, film, arts, culture festival in Austin, Texas, every year. So yeah, look out for that.
That's what's up. Right on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that for you, Pops. I'm gonna put Pops link in the chat.
Okay.
Get that and definitely go check his work out. I'm looking at the playlist. Look like you got some songs I helped you work on back in the day. That's what's up. Music on there way back in the day. That's what's up. Appreciate that. And when Love Is on the Line, I see your first song on there. That's the one that one of the ones he said he's most proud of his vocal performance on. So yeah, some things to check out, man. Go check out Pop's music and buy straight from the artist. That's how to get down. Love it.
And kind of side note, if anybody's interested in getting in the music business, hey, now's the time, man. And you don't even have to make, the top hits. You can make some sleep music on YouTube and get that check. I'm just saying.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know what I'm doing after I get off. Yeah, let's jump into a few of the community updates. Actually, without the updates, not doing the updates, but kind of looking back. Shout out to Sean McCarthy. I had a really great conversation with Sean McCarthy about what we do, and I guess like our people are picking up on the clock. They know that on Mondays we're gonna be like Tell us if you went to this event on the weekend type of deal. There was a lot of events happening this weekend for sure. Shout out to Katie Rain who had her soft opening at the Dreamland
Hey,
Lounge. Yeah, it seemed like a
hey,
whole lot of people showed up to that Dreamland Lounge night. So that's what's
nice,
up. Looking pretty
nice.
nice inside there. So yeah, I can't wait for she had the soft opening. I'm waiting for the hard opening. Come on through. She had some jazz artists in there playing, but place looks nice, man. A lot of people showed
Yeah,
up. A lot of people in my feed took pictures there. She has a step and repeat that people can take pictures in front of, and a lot of people did. So a lot of people showed up to that, which I think is awesome. Congratulations. We definitely need a new jazz club around here in a big way too, man. We need to have more of a scene in Omaha
yeah, man.
that is famous for that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's what's up. Also, Tim Clark put on the Black Excellence Expo that he had over the weekend too, which a lot of people showed up as well. So I've been trying to gather a few pictures here and there of some brothers and sisters that was out at this event. It looked like it turned out really well. All my favorite musicians went and played the show. Man, Leland Mickles and everybody was there.
uh-uh.
Leo Lewis spoke, so a lot of speakers and some celebration of Black excellence. The American History celebration of Black excellence presented by Omaha 100. So yeah, it went down over the weekend. A lot of people dressed up. I saw a lot of folks in gowns and tuxedos and things that went to this event. So yeah, man, shout out to everybody. Let us know if you went to any of these events over the weekend, and I'd love to hear some personal stories about how it went, how you liked it, what went down. Love to hear about it. Miss Erica felt in the chat. Good morning. She said, "Good morning." Dipping in quickly before children arrive to set the week off right by being in community. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for that.
Hey,
She said, "LaRussell, I'm a stockholder." I heard that.
hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking about that
I put
stocks.
I put in on LaRussell's album for sure, for sure.
You did.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm very impressed by the young man on the West Coast changing the game, and nobody works harder than that brother. He's the hardest working man in show business now by all means.
Man,
The brother is always pushing and pushing the boundaries. So that's what's up. Really appreciate what LaRussell's doing. If you don't know about LaRussell, look into him. He was actually in Omaha a couple years back. Shout out to
yeah,
Lala and the what's their festival called?
the
The
Joy Fest.
Joy Fest. Yeah, he came out here to the Joy Fest and did one of them backyard boogies. And I'm like, yeah,
Man,
that's what's up. That's what's up. Sean McCarthy gives us a good morning, First Guy team and chat and chimers. I appreciate that.
hey,
Brother, I was just talking about you right before you came on. We had a good conversation about just kind of following how we do things here on the channel on Mondays and Fridays. So shout out. It is kind of a set your intention motivational Monday type of day, type of week. We do got to talk about other things that happened over the weekend as well.
man,
Not just the good stuff, but the scary stuff. We got to kind of figure out what we're going to do about tempering some of this fear and moving forward. So before I get to any more haps and any more things that's going on to talk about here, I want to jump into today's thread and see what's on Buddy's mind. Buddy, what's today's thread? What's going on?
yeah, man. A lot on my mind, man. A lot of things going on, especially over the weekend. I'm sure we're aware of what's happening internationally, which we are going to touch on here later, a little later on. But yeah, I'm just thinking along the lines of Market Monday. It is, of course, season 4B, Follow the Money. So yeah, we're going to dive into a little bit of our bottom line in the second hour, but there are some news stories I definitely wanted to dive into here in the first hour, especially in the vein of this community resources that we're doing. Again, we aside from following the money and looking at what markets where we're investing, which we will get into in the second hour, just in the general, people need help out there. People need again help with the bottom line, putting food on the table, roof over their head, and again, want to help with that at least information wise. So there's a few stories I wanted to highlight. Definitely looking at again, shout out uh, to Omaha Star. Definitely want to talk about some of their renovations, some things happening on the Deuce, but also housing. Again, Habitat for Humanity. We've been talking about some of the projects they have going on. Remember that development that they announced last week on Papio. Now they have a new initiative to help with again housing costs and things like that, which you've been kind of looking at some of the markets, some of the projects out there, and yeah, how are y'all feeling about the housing market? Definitely want to talk about that. Also, homelessness, brothers and sisters without a roof over their head. Apparently, there's a new program from the city to help with job skills for a path to full time work. So again, talking about the bottom line, helping those out. But don't want to leave out the babies. Of course, we had Sister Bree Full on the show on Friday to kind of give us an update on what's going on with OPS, some of the challenges, especially with this multi-million-dollar shortfall. And apparently, there's some other news coming out as far as staffing and the size of classes in OPS. So again, what is going on with OPS? Omaha World Herald is reporting that some of the class sizes in OPS are actually decreasing, which is interesting. At the same time, Lincoln is being reported that some of their schools are overcrowded. So I am wondering what's going on with the schools.
Maybe it's all the babies getting suspended.
Maybe it could be ICE. I mean, again, people staying at home. What is going on? I don't have answers. Would definitely love to dive into the question with you all. So definitely feel free to let your mind be free, let your voice be heard, especially on this next topic. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney tipping us off again. Nebraska passing a bill allowing the suspension of K through 2 students, something that Senator McKinney has been fighting. Also, shout out to Brother Leo Lewis, who's been actually working with the parents and working in the community to have these conversations about the preschool to prison pipeline. And again, the disproportionate suspension and expulsion of Black and brown students, especially out of OPS. So again, we'll talk about that and more. Of course, we got to get into the economics of it all. Nebraska lawmakers are proposing to pull $130 million from cash reserves. What does that mean? What does it look like? Where is it going? Of course, we're following the money and not just stopping there, but also what does Nebraska's delegates have to say about what is happening in Iran, and what does that have to do with our bottom line? Of course, you got to know anything going on, especially militarily in the Middle East, most likely has something to do with oil. So again, we'll be talking about the petrodollar and also what that means for the Black economic power in America. So again, all that and more throughout the show. Of course, we're here for 2 hours as always. No guests, so you just got me and Paul. Hopefully, and of course you join the conversation. As I mentioned, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
About 15 minutes into this thing, man. What's the word?
Yeah, we got some people coming into the chat that I appreciate very much. Arrows 402 says hit the like button. Please do that.
Hey.
You're on YouTube, especially. Also, Tamara Dwyer in the chat saying good morning from San Diego today.
Okay, West Coast.
Straight jealous. What you doing in my hometown without me? Stop it. Black Dynamite in the chat saying good morning, y'all. Appreciate you coming through. Black Dynamite. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning with some sunshine. We didn't really talk about the weather today. We will in a second. Biko Kwanzaa in the chat saying good morning, Sky family. Good to be back. I miss y'all. This is brother Kwanzaa from Philadelphia. Okay,
hey,
that's what's up. He says, I'm glad First Sky family acknowledged in Omaha Star today piece. Yeah, Omaha Star gets down, man. We're really proud of what's going on with Omaha Star, all the work that Miss Sanders is doing, and we're looking forward to our partnership on doing some things with Miss Sanders in the future as well. So it's news gang. It's all news gang. That's what it is. Man. So I appreciate everybody coming through. Before we get to a break, I didn't really talk about the weather. I heard there's going to be some freezing rain if you're in Omaha and have to deal with that. But it's also going to be like 40 degrees, so not really sure what. Just bring a jacket because you don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Also, anybody feel an earthquake yesterday? Miss Erica Fell, if you're still here, you can attest to this. If there's an earthquake around Hastings at 4.1, we probably didn't feel it. Did y'all really feel an earthquake yesterday? And look, you can't fool. I'm from California. Don't be trying to fool. You can't fool me. Was there an earthquake yesterday? Because first of all, if I was sitting on a 4.1, I'd probably barely feel it. But if it was way out somewhere, I don't know how did it reach Omaha. I'm not sure. Let us know about that situation for sure. We want to know. Also, shout out to Kimber Snipes and that got a profile done out in Omaha. Shout out to Omaha Magazine, man. They're really kind of stepping up game over there in a big way.
Low key.
I appreciate the work that they're doing. Low key for real. For real. So she got a profile in Omaha Magazine. Grab the magazine, pick it up, man. It's one of the magazines that I'm just like, man, the cover was all about the Epstein files, the Franklin scandal. I was like, that's that one. That's the issue that they actually wrote about. They actually talking about it. So I'm glad I got the paper issue of this because now we got some representation in there too. Shout out Kimber Snipes. And also shout out Dr. Zubner, who is one of our instructors for content creator camp. So it was kind of like First Guy representing inside Omaha Magazine this time around. Man. Shout out, man. Go pick it up. We're gonna have to tell them. We have to go talk to them. Like, listen, we promoting y'all all the time. Write us a check. What you doing?
Hey, cut the check, cut the check.
Cut the check, man. It's going down. Black Dynamite says, I was passed out when that thing happened. Yeah. Mark Manor says, I did. I thought it was a truck going by.
What?
look, Miss Eric felt nothing. We didn't feel it. Come on with it. Y'all.
A truck going by.
Ain't got no earthquakes out here. Marlon Harrison says, I didn't feel nothing yesterday. Man. RG says, I got some folks in Lincoln that said they felt tremors. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry that I don't downplay y'all's little earthquake, but you know, I'm from California. So we'll take a quick break and come right back and listen to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
Y'all's little earthquake.
Little baby quake. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, that's me. Buddy
Hey.
to God, that's him.
Hey.
Slow down, man. Yeah. How you guys feeling today? Thanks for joining us, all the chat chimers, all the ghost listeners. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, share the show on your page. If you're on YouTube, send somebody the link so they can come in and have a conversation. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for everybody that got up this morning as well. Kimber Snipes gives us a good morning. We just was talking about you right before the break. Miss Snipes, shout out to you and getting that profile in Omaha Magazine. Looking good, sounding good. Kimber Snipes fights for neighborhoods. I love it. Good representation. And we also gave a shout out to Omaha Star, man. Omaha Magazine doing some of the changing up a little bit, really.
Yeah.
I'm feeling them, feeling what they've been doing lately. So shout out to them. Shout out to Terry Sanders, Omaha Star. Everybody who's got print, News Gang. Shout out to Nebraska Examiner doing the good work every day. Lots of good sources, and we need them because I tell you what, it's hard to figure out what's true and what's not these days.
Man, yeah. Especially with the Skydance situation, I don't know what news to trust anymore. I'm like,
Or you say, hey, look here, BZ. Nobody out here wants that kind of earthquakes that shake the fine china out the cabinet. You're right. You don't want them. Yeah. That's very true. He said, I guess that Black Dynamite said, I guess that's comparable to people in Cali saying 55 degrees is cold. Yes, 55 degrees is a California winter for sure.
The word is they felt tremors in Lincoln, though, I guess.
I guess so. Well, that's a little closer to what the epicenter was from what I understand. But what I felt like happened was that people were like reading that it happened. And then they were like, yeah, I think I felt something. And then started spreading it around. But listen, Mark Manor said he felt it. He's in Omaha, so hey, it happened. If it happened, it happened. I would have been excited if I felt. Was this an earthquake? Yeah, boy, that takes me back.
Feels like home. Feels like home.
We appreciate everybody joining us this morning too, man. Thank you. Also, Biko Kwanzaa, yeah, man, I really feel you on this. He said it's sad to see how the Western world disrespects the Islamic world when it comes to the holy month of Ram, man. All this stuff going down in the Middle East right now. Yeah,
I didn't think about that as far as it being Ramadan, but yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that a little later on. But I guess let's go ahead and dive into it if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. And you kind of tipped it off a little bit, had a little Freudian slip, but that's all right. You mentioned the Omaha Star when you're trying to say Omaha Magazine, but let's start with the Omaha Star and kind of bookending the show a little bit with some Black economic power, if you will, one of our 6 or 7 lanes of change as far as the economic power and the financial dollar. And some good news down on the Deuce, man. Some renovations going on with the Omaha Star. Shout out to Channel 7 for their report on this. And, of course, shout out to Terry Sanders for pushing the charge, updating and renovating the Omaha Star. Again, one of Omaha and really the nation's longest running and only Black-owned newspaper. Again, CEO and President Terry Sanders says that she's been having the good news paper since Mildred Brown started it back in 1938. Of course, a legacy paper that she's pushing forward, talking about the fact of history and where we are now, saying in this day and time when Black history is being erased from people's memories in the classroom and books, it is important that people have a place to come and see just what that means. So again, right now, Terry Sanders in the Black, or not the Black History Museum, but the uh, Omaha Star, excuse me, are again working on building a history museum in that space. It will be a gallery museum. Again, it says when the renovations are complete, the Omaha Star will resume publication in the space next door. But again, focusing on the museum that archives the history of Sister Mildred D. Brown and Black journalism in general. Again, the building is being transformed into a museum honoring Black journalism and the founder and entrepreneur, more importantly, which again, we'll be talking about that a little later on. Black business, Sister Brown. Paul, I know you're, down on the deuce watching it firsthand. What's going on? Seeing some things. We've been talking about it.
Yeah,
how you feeling about it?
We're definitely moving into this area of checking in with the Deuce to really kind of find out what's going on, because it is kind of the epicenter of a lot of things that's going on is in Black Nebraska and Black Omaha especially. It's funny, as we're doing this, Miss Sanders just sent this over for her podcast, the TD podcast. That's what's up.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's going down. You can get it wherever you get your podcast from, man. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth. We just put the link in the chat as well. But yeah, shout out to she's been very vocal. As a matter of fact, I've been to a few meetings around town about what's happening, the new things that are going on. That Miller Park meeting. And I'm thinking about the stuff like the Port Authority meetings. Ms. Sanders has been vocal about really innovating and building up this area, and she's just like, pull the trigger, quit all this back and forth. We pass up money and pass up opportunities in these neighborhoods all the time. Let's quit doing that. Let's work on this growth. Let's get it going. And she's leading the charge with getting it going over there with the Omaha Star. So I think it's a genius move to turn it into a museum, to turn it into a place. This graphic that I just put up here was kind of a rendering of what the outside is going to look like. I think this is a kind of an old one. I have to see if there's any updates on it, but there was some rendering, some pictures here on this. But I really love what they said here. Omaha Star is the oldest and only Black-owned newspaper in Nebraska. Paper was founded in 1938 by Mildred Brown, running out of a brick building on North 24th Street Business District in North Omaha. Can you imagine the archives? Can you imagine the newspaper stories and stuff that go all the way back to 1938? It is our history, and so for it to be represented this way is awesome, and I'm glad that Ms. Sanders is the one leading the charge on this big time.
Yeah. And I also don't want to kind of gloss over the fact that it framed the Deuce as a business district. I know that's been a point of conversation. Like what kind of area is the Deuce? Is it a kind of a nonprofit center? We got Ivy Black Girl and the Union and some things. NOMA got some things going on over there. But is it a cultural center? We got the Black History Museum, and now this museum with the Omaha Star, of course, the Jazz District, Dreamland Park. There's some things there, but I definitely appreciate looking at the Deuce as a business district, because quite honestly, that's what we need down there. That's what we need down there. Some dollars to get to flowing. All the things I named are already down there. The one thing missing is them dollars.
There's certain kinds of dollars down there flowing through.
Yeah,
but we need a different kind of dollars flowing through there. For a while, they kind of act like it was like a non-profit district, and that's all the money that was flowing. But yeah, for-profit business is how economic development happens. It's how wealth gets built. We definitely need it, and I love the fact that it's a historic district as well. Here's the thing about the Deuce: it's a historic district. It's also a business district. It's also an arts district, and it's the most important corner, pretty much, in Black Omaha, Black Nebraska specifically. So
Peacock Corner.
Peacock Corner. We've been calling it. We've been calling it Peacock Corner, bro. And this is if you don't know what it is, we always talk about EGOT, which is it was Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys. So there's only a certain amount of artists that win all four of those awards. Buddy had the genius idea of putting the P on it, the Pulitzer Prize, because we also need news and journalism on the block as well. But yeah, we can grow grow people in North Omaha. Kids in North Omaha can reach all of those landmarks just being on the deuce, learning music, learning art, all the things that are learning acting. Shout out to what's Denise Chapman and what's going on over at the Shirley Tyree
Yeah,
Theater.
yeah,
There's so many opportunities here to make it a district that people want to come to and get some history, also make some money, also be a big part of the art scene that's always been the case here on the Deuce. So I think it's turning into a thing. We got to really kind of pay more attention to it, and we do have some news on the Deuce already. Omaha Star, straight up,
hey,
is the newspaper,
hey,
as you can see, one of the longest black-owned newspapers ever. And there's journalism on the Deuce. Anybody can go and write for the Omaha Star. She will allow you to come and write for the Omaha Star. You can get your chops up, and you never know. Eventually, you can write something that wins you some awards. So there's opportunity. There's opportunity on the Deuce like never before. I think this is the one of the most exciting times since back in the day when it was just building after building of business after business, and either what they call the golden days of
yeah,
the
man.
Deuce. It's kind of coming back in a way.
Yeah, yeah. So I think people are remembering. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm definitely here for it. I definitely love to hear the take of you, especially shout out brother RG. I appreciate your comment. It says the layout reminds me of the OIC building when it was still active and vibrant. Man, hear a lot of stories about the OIC building. Anybody know what they're doing with that? Any updates on that? I think Bud Crawford bought that property. I think.
Mm.
Don't get me speculate. Yeah, if anybody has any updates on what's going on with that location, please let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, most definitely. Pop says, I know the Star has done articles on Paul Sr., my great grandfather. He says, but I think
Mm,
they also did an article on his father and mother, Nathan J. and Katie Allen, way back. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay, so my great
man,
great grandfather might be in the Omaha Star paper. That's interesting.
hey, legacy.
Legacy. Marlon Harrison says, I remember Miss Terry Sanders talking about reaching out to the younger generation. It saddens me when you talk to the younger generation about the Omaha Star, they look at you weird. Yeah, you could talk to the younger generation about any newspaper, they're gonna look at you weird. Anybody reading a
Yeah,
newspaper anymore, but
right.
it's always, something that's not being done much. It can be presented as a new thing too. I know young folks that are buying cassette tapes and CDs right now, like it's a brand new thing. So
Man, vinyl coming back too. By the way, just side note.
vinyl been back.
Yeah.
Tapes is what I'm like, who got a tape deck anymore? That's the one that shocks me.
Mm,
Tony Johnson said, great opportunity for young journalists for sure. We're definitely a part of that situation. Also, Kimber Snipe says NOVC is a business, and I thought Bud bought it too.
mm.
Oh,
What's the
okay. So
NOPC?
you're talking about the OIC building is probably what you're talking about, right? She says is a business. I thought Bud bought it. Bud did buy the OIC building, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Begin. I don't. Yeah, if anybody knows for sure. Yeah.
Need to know.
Yeah.
Moving on. Thanks for your comments. Appreciate it. 7:33 right now. If you believe in the concept of time. If you're just joining us, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey.
What's next on the agenda, buddy?
Yeah, well, we're talking about the bottom line, talking about business a little bit. I do want to dive into some resources coming out of a few areas, a few programs, a few folks trying to help folks with their bottom line. And so, yeah, if you this applies to you, definitely pay attention, especially if you find yourselves without a home. Shout out to the City of Omaha Parks Department who teamed up with excuse me, who teamed up with the Salvation Army for a program called A Way to Work, which is a new partnership program. Actually started in 2019, molded after similar programs in other cities, talking about solutions journalism. A woodworking program at Omaha's Fontenelle Park, which is again giving experiencing a home those experiencing homelessness a paycheck, job skills, and a path to full time employment. One of the graduates of the program, Brother Christopher Alt, in the article says, "I feel good about myself because I've gone through this." Again, workers in the program turn trees into furniture. To future art projects for summer campers as a part of their short term employment. Josh Frey, who's the Parks and Facilities Manager, said the goal is to build lasting skills, saying we found it's a good way to teach people good skills they can take out and use in their own lives. It's been rolling ever since. So,
Mm.
again, the resources include a paycheck, all is set to begin full-time work with Omaha's Parks Department on Monday. So, again, it kind of leads into a full-time situation with the city. What do you think? What do we think? Again, one of the kind of markers for Mayor Ewing's tenure, of course, is his experience as a treasurer and kind of seeing some creative things from his office. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I need to learn a little bit more about this program to find
Yeah.
out. I think it sounds good. Sounds good on the surface for sure. Everybody needs more skills. I do know, seeing as that I had attended and worked for Metropolitan Community College at one point, I always remember that there's a lot of trades and skills and things happening on the North Campus in our neighborhood already, and not to mention CDL, truck driving, all kinds of different things. So, how many, what other kind of skills are being offered here? Are they? Is this going to be a situation where it's going to be affordable or even free for them to engage?
Hmm.
And how many people and how they getting the word out? To me, I guess being in communications, to me is how do you get the word out? Metropolitan Community College has a legitimate problem reaching folks in our neighborhood right down the street to help them understand that they got these resources that they could be taking advantage of right there in the neighborhood. And it's always been a thing for years now. How do you get that message to people? How do you get them, not just the message to people, but get them riled up and wanting to come through and get down on it? So there's some kind of gap there where they got the presentation to young folks maybe needs to happen earlier in their education. A lot of other things are happening way earlier. Maybe instead of hitting kids at high school, hit them at junior high or hit them at sixth grade. You know what I'm saying? Like do you tap young folks earlier? What do you do? So I'm always kind of looking for the solutions on how that happens, just because of my experience of being there and realizing that they're not really reaching us a lot of times with that message, with the things that are happening. I always feel like it's a revelation to me. I walk in like, oh, we got all this, and like, how do you let people know that this is available? So I think same thing with this program as well. We're reading about it
Hmm.
here. It's in the newspaper, but how's it getting out to the folks that need it?
Man, especially those dealing with houselessness, like they don't necessarily have an address that you can, you know what I mean, send them mailers, or like how do you reach them? According to the article, there's about a wait list of 30 people
Okay.
for this program, which I mean is decent, but when you think about the number of just sheer houselessness in the area, I would like to see more of these similar types of programs. But any
Mm.
path to full time, we talk about jobs all the time here on the show, especially in this season of following the money. So kudos to the city of Omaha finding a pathway to full time work, especially for our houseless brothers and sisters.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just hoping that work is paying living wages for them to be able to get out of the situation, not get themselves
Mhm.
more in debt or anything else with that. So there it is in the chat. Also, let's see. I was just looking at Wanda Lewis says still waiting on the development of the building on northeast corner of 24th and Lake. Northeast corner of 24th and Lake. Yeah, I'm
Oh, is that
uh,
is it is that not Blair Freeman, Carmen Tapio? That's her building,
yeah. That's going to be they're going to build the new headquarters for
North
North
End Teleservice.
Teleservices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that too. It's definitely coming, I guess. But it's a multi-million-dollar situation, so we'll see. Kimmer says I was talking about two different things. North Omaha Visitor Center is a business and
Ah,
support other businesses as well. Definitely do that.
NOVC.
Um, North Omaha Visitor Center. I see what you're saying. Oh, this is the first time
Right.
I've seen it as an NOVC. Okay,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
That threw me off. I'm like, what's that?
You got to establish the name and then you go to the but you're right. Yeah. That is definitely a hub right now. There's a lot of traffic. I stop in there several times a week. Kimmer, of course, has made that the headquarters. So most of the time I'm in there, I'm seeing her in there putting it down.
Hey, hey.
So getting her, and that's what they're doing. They're really supporting business. A lot of important meetings happening in there all the time. Took little man in there on, I think it was Saturday, to grab a donut. Now they were having a big meeting, Mike Maroney and everybody sitting in the room, like big meeting. And I was like, this is turning into like the Black City Hall for real. So shout out to Press and Love. Shout out to everybody that's behind the visitor center. Not just a business that you can go buy coffee, go buy things, and rent out rooms and so on, but also providing it support for other businesses, like she's saying, Kimber's saying for sure. Wanda Lewis is saying where the Omaha Business Technology Center used to be. Yep, that's going to be North End Teleservices over there. And yes, it has been a little while since I've heard anything about what's going on with the new construction there, but it is coming. Black Dynamite says, I think instead of pushing college so hard. The skills schools need to be promoted more.
Hmm.
I can see that. A lot of money in skills. Seems to be a lot more money in skills than some degrees for real.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, which reminds me, while we're talking about this, do want to give a shout out to Empowerment Network Skill Up program. I know we talk about the impact of us, seeing all those step up kids, but again, learning more about the Skill Up program that they have for adults as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
again, if looking for a gig, looking for some skills, check it out.
they definitely have it, and they definitely have the step up program for the kids too,
Yeah.
which applications are. This is the last day for applications.
Yeah. Okay.
Matter of fact, March 2nd. So definitely hit stepupomaha.com. It's a 9-week program beginning in June. There's the place that you can, if you have some questions, you can also always email them at info@stepupomaha.com. But this is for kids, man. Get paid to explore what you would like to do as a career. And this is they provide jobs at ages 14, 15, earn up to 200 a week. Ages 16 plus at work sites earn 15 an hour. So you can earn some money and test out some industries and for a limited time, over the summer or something like that too. So this stepper program is something that has really been impactful when it comes to the youth is concerned. I would really love to talk to some youth to see if anybody who went to this step up program figured out something they wanted to do and went into that career. So if you know
Mm.
anybody who's done that, let us know. I'd love to interview them and
Yeah.
talk about that as well. But shout out to Empowerment Network and the step up program. Today is the last day to get your young person, or if you are a young person listening, go on Step Up. Come on through and check it out. Go to info@stepup.com for some information. And yeah, definitely check this out, man. Applications are closing today.
There you go. There you go. Man, well, we can wrap up this segment just about 45 minutes into the show. One last story before we get into our next our break.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to dive into some housing things. Again, kind of going along the lines and reminding people that we do have our community resources page on the website. So you definitely still looking for resources and help with that. But for those of you, needing resources in the realm of housing, looks like Habitat for Humanity has a new project that they're pushing for families to help reach home ownership, which again we've been talking about as far as building your economic base, having an economic foundation to kind of grow from. And shout out to brother Don Curry, who kind of tipped us off to investing in properties and again the importance of owning land and owning property and what that means as far as assets and wealth management. So again, big shout out to Habitat for Humanity. The organization recently announced it is part of the Pope Leo Village Initiative, which aims to recruit 600 new volunteers to help build 20 homes over 20 days. The homes will be part of phase 2 of the Blue Stem Prairie neighborhood, which again is on 51st and Sorensen, kind of in the Old Mayat Wintergreen apartment areas near Wakanda Elementary. If you are familiar with the area, again, Habitat works to keep its homes around $300,000 or under below Nebraska's estimated median new home cost, which of course is skyrocketing. Chief Development Officer for Habitat for Humanity, John Hask, said the initiative carries significance beyond the construction itself. Of course, the particular project is important in that it's about uniting people together in a common cause. He also said the mission of stable, affordable home ownership is one that resonates broadly. Of course, everybody, looking, striving for some kind of stability as far as housing goes. He says we all want what's best for our families, and having a home, stable home environment is something I think many of us can relate to, how important that is and how it can transform our lives. Again, the transformation is already underway. Again, still looking for people who have gone into the Blue Stem Prairie project area. Anybody living in that area, getting into some of those houses, definitely want to see the quality of the housing. Want to get some firsthand experience on that. But again, shout out to Habitat for Humanity pushing for this.
They're going to price things under $300,000. I hope so.
Yeah. According to the National Association of Home Builders, again, the estimated median cost of new homes this year is actually just above that 328,000. Again, when we spoke to some of the developers in North Omaha from the community, developing in the community, again, that project on North 16th, I think those houses were about 250,000. And then also brother Don Curry, and kind of around market rate for some of the units that he's building as well. So, still trying to get into the bottom of it as far as the realities of development, the cost of development, and also keeping, the cost of getting in again to a home. Your first, especially first time homeowners, getting into the game.
This don't sound like the time to be buying no homes, but
Really?
bro, 300 something $1,000. Yeah. It seems kind of high right now to be trying to get into a home. And these programs, if I'm going to hear if the market rate is 320,000 or whatever, and I'm gonna, a habitat or organization like that that's trying to help people, that's got some resources and help people. I'm
Hmm.
looking at 200 then, like lower
Hmm.
enough then, lowered enough. Don't just be like they're $30,000 under market rate. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if this enough of a help of some help. So yeah, I don't know if I'm shouting out habitat quite yet. I need to dig into it a little bit more, but
Okay.
yeah, that seems that's high, bro. Who you know what I'm saying? Trying to think of anybody I know that can afford a $300,000 house right now, off the
That's,
top of my
that's
head.
that's the market.
Well, I guess that's why a lot of us ain't buying homes right this minute. So either the market got to go down, or some of these programs got to do a little bit better, or whatever the deal. I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But ownership is definitely a question on all fronts. Is this the time to buy anything? Is this but we're also dealing with people that own things, and you got to deal with the rent going up too. You don't forget about the property taxes situation here in Nebraska.
Yeah. That's a creeping thing. Also, a Tony Johnson in the chat saying 300,000 is cheap for outsiders relocating, which is a interesting, question of who is this for? Who is this for? Who can afford these things?
Well,
Is always the
and
question.
it might be cheap for people coming from like New York and L.A., but it's not cheap for the rest of the country. That's still expensive for the rest of the country. That's not a cheap. You don't you ain't think about, like I said, if you got a $600,000 house in California, then it might be cheaper for you to go ahead and sell that and buy a $300,000 house in Omaha. But if you coming from anywhere else, Kansas, Chicago, all this stuff is super high. It's high everywhere. It's high. Omaha has been matching some prices in most places in the
Yeah,
country. So
I mean
it's
that's new builds I'm seeing out here starting 300s, 400s.
right. Yeah, man, and that's it. And you ain't even in like the heart of the city. You kind of like on the outskirts a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
right.
Right,
In a city like Atlanta, versus Omaha, you know what I mean? So to your
right.
point, same prices,
Same
completely
price.
different market.
RG says, and best believe the 150 to $200,000 homes are still out there. Right. This is also the case. I do know a couple of folks, friends of mine, and family members of mine that are looking for homes, and they are looking in that range of like $200,000.
Are they finding
So
them?
they're finding some, yeah, sometimes they'll be in neighborhoods they don't quite feel comfortable in, or they're too small, or they need some renovation. So there's a market out there for it, for they're saying the medium family home. So that if the medium price is 320,000, that means they're also factoring in the 500 and $600,000 houses too that are also not crazy. It doesn't, it's not a out there price for a house in Omaha on the west side or something like that to be $450,000. It's just
Hmm.
the market is not, to me, the market is not a market to be buying in at this point. You're supposed to be buying low and selling high. You're supposed to be buying high. You know what I mean? I just if I'm not in the market to buy a house, but if I was in the market to buy a house right now, I'd be waiting, because even Habitat got you in a $290,000 house. That's just
What's that?
me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, what's not? I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Tony Johnson says the cheaper Omaha homes tend to be small for families needing housing, and other problems, other situations too. Size of town, school district, attached garage, just a whole lot of things that I'm learning as I'm hanging with friends of mine that are looking and seeing what there is out there. You can buy some on the north side, but you're competing with companies out of Kansas City that are trying to buy at the block,
Man.
and then the prices are high for, you still have to go in there and renovate the bathroom type of situation. So I mean, it's just a tough market out here right now, big time, man.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned, preparing for the next story. Something that definitely plays a part is location. Of course, we talked about OPS and the shortfall, and property taxes possibly going up as far as the tax levy goes to help make up for OPS. So
Right.
I definitely want to get into some education conversations here soon. Well, what you got?
Yeah, before we get to the break, I just want to acknowledge what Wanda Lewis is saying because this is something that we are going to have to get into and discuss as well. Wanda Lewis says it's being said that they're trying to raise the rent at the North Omaha Visitor Center after Preston did all that renovation. People are talking down here on the Deuce. She's saying OEDC owns that building. She's also saying same thing they tried with Fairdale and also what pushed William King out. So this is a issue that we've been hearing a lot about. If you remember the other day, we spoke on William King's show where he brought one of the Jackson brothers on his show to talk about the situation with OEDC and to keep on digging into that situation. I did put an email out to OEDC for a comment for them to be able to come onto the show and talk a little bit about what's going on here. Haven't heard back from them quite yet, but I'll keep working on that. But yeah, this is if that is the case, I didn't. Now I know that building was owned by OEDC before the visitor center got into it. And there was the same kind of thing happened over there as well. The rent got raised, people got pushed out, and that was just what it was. It seems to be that's how business is being done when it comes to that. So they go in at a short rate in order to kind of build business up. I think, hey, well, you can come in, here's a deal to have a low rent, but it's going to go up. So you got to build business and get ready for that. And then it might go up at a time where you really can't afford it. And then you got to bounce. So we've been hearing about this. And like I said, our style is to go to the source. We want somebody to be able to come over here and talk about it. So I put an email out to Mike Maroney to come on the show anytime he feels like he wants to come on, have a discussion about some of these things, because the community is chiming up all the time, very concerned, especially if you're on the Deuce, like Wanda Lewis is saying. This is happening all around. We need to get some discussion on that. So I'll also reach out to the Jackson brothers and everybody else who's in this situation, and also Preston Love, have a conversation with him too.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that that building is owned by OEDC either. I thought it wasn't, but I'm not. Like I said, I haven't looked into it, and I haven't heard anything from Preston Love, particularly on this. But we'll definitely look into it. We will definitely do that. We appreciate you bringing that up. We'll talk about this and other things. There's more to dive into here. It's about 8 minutes before the second hour. We are going to be here through 8 o'clock today. So stick with us. We're going to definitely jump into more discussion and kind of get into the economics of things on the second hour. So stay tuned. We'll take a break right now and come back, wrap up this hour's worth of stories, and jump back into it. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Really appreciate all of your comments and you getting up early with us, having this discussion. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God. Appreciate everybody jumping into the conversation this morning. I see Heather Williams giving us a good morning. Good morning to you. It is Monday. If you don't know, Monday the 2nd of March. You haven't written that rent check yet, then won't do it. My back, my neck, and my back. Yeah, speaking of real estate and rents,
man,
got our own to worry about for sure around here. How you faring out there? How's it going? Anybody looking for housing? How's the job market? Love to hear anything from you guys on some of these things. We're gonna actually start putting out some more formal surveys out here so we can be easier to answer some of these questions that we put out. and we can kind of gather a little bit of information on some of those things. That gives us a direction on which stories to really kind of dig into, along with the stories that you put in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. And thank you for that. We definitely scour that all the time when we're looking for things to talk about, to see what you want to talk about. That's what we're here for. So shout out to everybody that's been contributing to Friends of First Sky Omaha. Please continue to do that. That's where the conversation continues when we're not live. We definitely have a lot of things on there to get to. We're not going to get to everything quite yet.
Yeah.
So, but we will. We will eventually do that. But in the meantime, between time, let's move on to the next piece, buddy. Where are we at?
Yeah, man. Diving into some education conversations a little bit. Kind of touched on it before, as far as our conversation on Friday with council or board woman, Bree Full, and giving us a tip or at least insight on how this $50 million shortfall will impact OPS moving forward. But again, over the weekend, there was some bombshell. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney. I wanted to dive into as far as class sizes and suspension and expulsion in OPS and really throughout the state. Again, Nebraska lawmakers have passed a bill allowing the suspension of K through 2 students. Again, LB 653 was passed on Friday after the show in the wee hours of the week. A bill that includes an amendment to allow schools to suspend students from kindergarten through second grade. Under current Nebraska law, out of school suspension is only permitted for students in third grade or above. Opponents of the change said the punishment is not beneficial for young students and argued it unfairly impacts those with developmental disabilities, or something that I actually asked board woman Bree on Friday about, again, just some of the decline that we've seen, especially in OPS, as far as classes and resources for those with disabilities and special needs. Senator Denixie Guerra of Omaha says what we're saying is let's remove the child from the environment that we as a society have deemed a place to pull our resources and send them home. The best case scenario, that kid's going to sit at home for 3 or 4 days and watch cartoons and mess around on their phone, essentially not getting what they need. Now, also, Senator Jenna Hughes of Seward, Nebraska, says sometimes it works as a consequence, and maybe that will change some behaviors, kind of feeling like that paternalism vibe you always talk about, Paul. Saying we are handicapped. We are handicapped, our schools, and I ask every single one of you, anybody listening to this, go talk to kindergarten, first, second grade teachers. The behaviors are getting worse, which I will acknowledge that is something that shout out to Marlon Harrison, who's been working with OPS, working with our students, working with the schools firsthand, and has said, and also Brother Kasim, who has said some of the behaviors from these children are getting out of hand. But again, shout out to the likes of Brother Leo Lewis and Terrell McKinney, who've been vocal on, yes, but this isn't the way. So again, talking about housing, a big part of this that we got to acknowledge is, of course, the connection to the preschool to prison pipeline, and where some housing might end up for some of these young folk who, again, get on this path of suspension, expulsion, and just kind of being treated, let's just call it what it is, like a criminal. I mean, there's been countless studies of teachers, and even going back to the youth, pointing at the black and the white baby doll. Who's the bad baby doll? Who's a good baby doll? All of these psychology things play a part in this legislation. So with all that said, Paul, chat, what say you?
Yeah, I appreciate that article. The people that you spoke of, Senator Terrell McKinney, also Marlon Harrison, also Brother Kasim, who all say, yeah, a lot of the there's a lot of things that are getting out of hand. They also, within that statement, talk about that some of this has to do with the parents, and they would really love to have some conversations with parents, because this kind of all stems from parents. A lot of it stems from parents, how the kids are behaving. So when they talk about solutions, that's where they go. They go, let's talk about family support so that these kids can get some help. And that is opposite of suspending children like that as well, like that young of an age. I don't even know how to argue that point, because it seems obvious to me that that's not the best way to go. Suspending or expelling kids that young. I mean, they're there to be developmentally aided to grow in the first place. How do you do that if and then the hardship that is on families that now they got a kid at home. How are they going to go to work?
That's
How
my
they
thought.
gonna yeah, how they gonna go to work, what they gonna do. So unfortunate that this is happening. I know that we've talked to the senators during Senator Cipher about the fight and other senators, even outside of the show, where we've talked about this, where they were really trying to
Yeah.
fight this. And it's really unfortunate that most of the senators decided this was a good idea. That's every time that we get a vote like that, it just is like, it really does feel like there ain't but two or three of us up there really, really grinding, really working um, for even beyond us, man. Just kids. We already know. I mean, this is
Yeah.
for kids. This is
Right.
not a law for black kids. This is a law for all kids. We just know that it gets taken out on kids of color more than anybody else. But this is all kids being suspended at this young age. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
What say you? Christy Nor in the chat gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Wanda Lewis says they make at least 100,000. The detain a youth, but teacher's salary is 50,000 or less. Make it make sense.
It's interesting.
Very. And talking to teachers too. We don't get to talk to teachers much because a lot of them don't really want to say much if they're
Or can.
or can. They're trying to keep their jobs.
Right. Right.
But the ones I do talk to off record are saying that too. Like they do a lot to try to keep kids straight in that classroom, go above and beyond what their job is supposed to be in order to do that as well. And some of them feel like they don't get support from the faculty and from the board sometimes too to continue that. So it's a tough situation. We are lucky to be able to talk to Kimmer Snipes,
Mm-hmm.
and we had Bree Full on as well from the board, and we know that they care immensely about kids and everybody else on the board. I'm sure that everybody else on the board cares too. But what are you going to do if you got this problem? It's something that's a nuanced problem that you got to try to figure out on both sides. Marlon Harrison is also an educator in the chat. He says the education group chat has been off the chain past 72 hours. A lot of people don't like the finger pointing at educators. No educator goes into education with the mindset of suspending students.
Man, I appreciate that.
Appreciate
that
that.
statement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy for sure. Yeah, Marlon, you've been one of the proponents on talking to the families, the families of the kids that are acting out, what to do there. So that's kind of where my mind goes on it. Kimber in the chat
Man.
is saying some of this is cultural awareness as well. She says I have these conversations with Matt Ray, superintendent over there at the school. Yes, cultural awareness. We know this is the reason why these kinds of laws affect kids of color, black kids especially, more than other kids because of this cultural awareness gap that is happening there as well. So, yeah, more black teachers. More black teachers, please. More black educators.
Man, on this, also I want to acknowledge what Senator Troy McKinney had to say on his Facebook about this. Especially, thinking about families. That's kind of where my mind goes, as you mentioned, Paul, earlier. When these, we're talking about K through 12. So what, 5, 6, 7 year olds, they're not going to be able to stay at home by themselves. So again, if they're suspended, that means also the parent technically is suspended as well from work. So what does that mean for the bottom line, especially for families that are just struggling? Again, Senator Troy McKinney says people celebrating the return of suspending 5-year-olds is alarming. Have you ever stopped to ask why so many of the children are being suspended are black boys before and after that law change? Then look at the disproportionate number of our boys in Douglas County Youth Center. Now consider that they can lock them up at 11. Then look at our prison system and the disproportionate number of black men incarcerated there. The pattern is not a coincidence, and it doesn't start at 18, starts at 5. Schools had the opportunity to implement meaningful alternatives, restorative practices, behavioral supports, early interventions, and they refused to fully invest in them. Instead, the burden was placed on teachers without adequate support, and the blame was shifted onto children and their families. Now, we have to be honest about the pipeline we are reinforcing. Discipline policies that push 5-year-olds out of classrooms don't create safer schools. They normalize exclusion, and exclusion over time becomes incarceration. If we care about public safety, it starts with protecting children, not criminalizing them. The kids y'all calling bad might be going to sleep hungry at night or just need someone to show they care. So again, big shout out to Senator Troy McKinney putting it in perspective kind of going back to the cultural awareness that Cameron is talking about, as far as some children having an attitude, or not being happy, being deemed as them being angry or being aggressive, or those types of things rearing their ugly heads.
I
Kind of
love to
comes
hear.
down to that bottom line.
I'd love to hear what Matt Ray has to say about the what you've been talking to him about when it comes to cultural awareness. That'd be interesting to hear about that. Maybe we can even have him on and talk about that as well. Love to have you on though, Kimber, to talk more about what you're seeing the issue is, and try to figure out how to what we can do about it. But yeah, this is definitely unfortunate. I kind of, if you guys got more to say about it, let me know. I definitely want to hear from the chat on what, because we kind of got to get to like what can we do about this situation when it comes to this. The bill is passed, the law exists. Bills are being passed right now in the legislature. It's happening. They don't wait till the end of the session to figure out whether all the bills are being passed or not being passed. They are absolutely being passed. As a matter of fact, Terrell McKinney, on another note, on a more positive note, there's one of his bills got passed, LB 741, changed the membership of the Racial Profiling Advisory Committee and the Nebraska Children's Commission, adds a member of the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs to both. So this is one that he's been working on that got passed as well. So some good ones are getting passed, bad ones are getting passed. The question is, once they get passed, what is it that we do? How is it that we can battle this and really kind of put those together? I really kind of would love to see some answers to that. A lot of us go back to this. We should be building our own schools.
That's where my mind went. Just building our own in general,
Yeah. So yeah, interesting stuff. We'll definitely get into it here on this second hour. 8:06 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. If you're in the second hour now, this is kind of where we really kind of break out and blow up a little bit on being able to discuss some of these things that have been in the room for a while. Before we go to a break, just wanted to give a shout out to Leigh Keister, who is doing Swing Left Nebraska every Monday. They have a new podcast, unpacking the unicameral. If you want to really understand what's going on at the unicameral and how it works, when those bills are coming up and when they're in committee, when they're getting passed, when they got rejected, all those things are things that they talk about here, and how the unicameral works, which is a very unique situation in the whole country. The way we have this unicameral, supposed to be nonpartisan, but we can see party lines being drawn every single day up there all the time. Yeah. But yeah, definitely check in wherever you get your podcast. Swing Left Nebraska's Unpacking the Unicameral Week 9 is going on right now. Shout out. Also, wanted to give a shout out to the fellas that for the Stigma Group.
Mm-hmm. Beyond the Stigma.
Beyond the Stigma had their meeting. This was something that also happened over the weekend too. Wanted to see if anybody in the chat went. As you can see, a lot of folks there. A lot of growth in that community as well. Man, it seems like more people in every picture they take. Shout out to Assembly of the Saints. Yeah. Let me know your experience. If you were one of the brothers that went to this and you happen to listen, love to hear from you on that. Definitely check it out. Wanted to give them a shout out. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Image Awards, because this just happened. I don't know if you guys have heard the news, but there was a BAFTA Awards that just happened over in London, where Delroy Lindo and yeah, Michael B. Jordan was up on stage, and somebody with Tourette's called him the N-word. All this mess went down, and it's been talked about for a while. It's been talked about because BBC decided to air that, even though they cut a whole bunch of other stuff. They let that one go through. Yeah. And people felt really disrespected. So whenever we're out there getting their awards, stuff like that happens. And it just always makes me go back to, like, we need to have our own awards. Well, we do Essence Awards. Yeah, Essence Awards happened recently. Also, the NAACP Image Awards happened, where Sinners won Best Picture. I mean, and got celebrated, and there was a lot of celebration happening. As a matter of fact, Michael B. Jordan said, "This is a place where I always felt encouraged. I always felt like I was being celebrated and nourished. I love being black. I love y'all." This is his speech at the NAACP Image Awards. Very huge contrast from BAFTA and all the other awards and Oscars and everything that's out there. Yeah, we don't need all that. We need to celebrate each other. Have our own awards if it comes down to that. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to give a shout out to them, because I'm thinking about what you just said about the preschool to prison pipeline. and for black kids to feel like they're being appreciated and not
Man,
being made to feel like they're some kind of criminals or some kind of whatever's. Yeah. Marlon Harrison said it was on fire this year. Yeah, it was.
okay,
Big,
okay.
big time. Big time. So, yeah, man, that's what's up. Also, Marlon Harrison said, I just want to point out that DCYC numbers are down. They went from 321 kids to 2006 to 68 kids this January. Wow.
Man,
I didn't realize they were down that low. That's what's up.
man, appreciate that.
He also said, well, we have to go back to teaching kids about their emotions. I feel like if we teach kids about their emotions and to control them, we can see better outcomes.
Definitely.
They do this in Japan. In
Mm.
Japan, the first 3 or 4 years of your schooling is your emotional, is how to regulate your emotions and how to play with others.
I remember, if you remember Michelle a couple years ago, Michelle Trotskler wrote that an education plan for a gentleman running for office in Ohio, and she was kind of talking about that a little bit as far as like kids don't need to be worrying about 2+2s when they're just two. Like they talk about how to play with others, how to share, how to engage socially, and kind of get that social and emotional intelligence, to kind of
Right.
build that base. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually had a conversation with my son about his emotions and not letting his anger build up, and just having good self-care strategies and routines.
Love that. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're a good dad. You're a good dad, buddy.
I try, I try, I try.
Oh, that wasn't a joke. Oh, that wasn't a joke.
Yeah, appreciate that.
The calm nature that you just impart instruction to folks, and that's why I ain't got no kids. Everybody be whooped. I'd be swinging belt. I'd be whirlwinding belts. I'd be in jail for beating children right now. So
Man,
yeah.
no.
Your calm demeanor and the way that you impart the knowledge. That's what's up. Yeah, just a shout out, man. We don't give enough shout outs to pops, to dads that are doing the thing, man.
Hey,
Shout
hey.
out to my pops that raised me well as well, and everybody else. So that's what's up. We'll take a quick break and marinate on that for a minute, and come back
Yeah.
into the conversation. It's going down. Second hour, you might see
Yeah,
a
man.
buddy blast.
Just might,
What you gonna
might,
see around here on the second
just
hour?
might.
Stay tuned. Shout out Sean McCarthy on the job hunt. We got to talk about it when we get back, man. For real.
Man, yeah. Hey, economics. Let's get into it.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Got a question for you. If you wanted to buy a Sam Cooke album, where would you go?
Hmm.
The record store. Take yourself down to the record store. Get your records right. Get your collection together. Shout out to Homer's. It's always pulling in the good stuff. Homer's is one of my favorite record stores in the world because of Mark Manor. Brother Manor has been an avid Prince fan for a long time, and all the Prince bootlegs and everything I ever got was because he drove down to Minneapolis and found them and brought them back to Homer's.
Man,
And
good
the
stuff.
brother's still there at the spot, still curating your record life. So get your vinyl right down there at Homer's for real.
Yeah. Shout out to the new podcast too. Yeah, everything
And
was
the
the
podcast.
90s.
Yeah, this one episode was about 90s best albums in 1996, which was dope. But yeah, definitely check out the dark stuff. Man, the musical knowledge that he has is deep.
Man.
I'm glad that you're doing stuff like that. Also, the Omaha Buzz, man, definitely
Yeah.
tap into Omaha Buzz. You can check them out on social media and find out where his I think he's on Substack or I think he's on Substack.
Yeah, or is it
So
Medium?
no, it's not. I don't think it's
Substack.
Medium. I'm not
Substack.
sure where it's at, but definitely check out Buzz Omaha. Omaha Buzz, excuse me, and that's Mark Manner's music page where he does music reviews and talks about the people that are coming into the area to perform and so on and so forth with all genres. It's
Man,
kind of the definitive place right now for that information. So definitely check that out. Check him out. Yeah, man. You know, I always think about that. Like my musical family is also super important to live alive with one another. We need to have more vinyl parties and so on. And speaking of which, shout out to Brother Kethro. Uh,
hey, Oto.
Oto Japanese. What is the? It's a Japanese lounge, but it's called Oto Hi-Fi Lounge, and it's over there in Exarban Village. And he's had every heavy hitter DJ. Shout out to Angie Spence. Shout out to DJ Cranbrand Gucci. Shout out to every heavy hitter DJ that's in Omaha has been out there to do their thing. Shout out to DJ Shorty that just played recently as well. If you haven't been to Odo yet, definitely go check it out. It's next level.
Yeah,
Next
man,
level.
new black owned business. You know,
I think these people need to be paying us for all this advertising we're doing for them.
it'd be nice.
We just talking about stuff we into and we like all the time. It just happens to sound like ads.
It'd be nice. It'd be
Get
nice.
down to Odo. Substack. Mark Manner in the chat. He says Substack. Thanks. Definitely check it out. Omaha Buzz on Substack. Of course, you can get links and stuff like that on all the social medias. That's what's up. It's got to go down. Ariel's 402 says best lessons my dad ever taught me: how not to be a father. Sometimes you learn what not to do from people too. That's knowledge as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering where you got all your investment and saving tips. Where you get all that? Where you get all that knowledge?
Fathering too, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like being a husband and a father. That's where did you get that knowledge from? You know,
Hey,
all of that good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate all that. Also, Sean McCarthy, man. I wanted to jump back to Sean McCarthy. He said,
yes.
Where was he at saying it? Let me see. Up a
little
little
down.
further.
Yeah.
He said something about his job search.
153 applications.
Did you find it?
Yes, sir.
153 applications to today. The man been on the job, so I ran into him at the visitor center. He was saying he pretty much, you know, it's like a full-time job to look for jobs. So you kind of out pretty much 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, job hunting, and that's tough. So yeah, you know, first of all, good luck to you, man. To try to find out what you're trying to find. Yeah, there it is. 153 job applications since October. Aiming to apply for 2 more today. Tony asked him what type of jobs he's looking for. He said mainly user experience designer roles or AI related roles like prompt engineer or leaning back into my old stock in trade technical writer. That's what's up. Shout out News Gang on that level. Yeah. So
Man,
definitely specific thing you're looking for.
it's interesting though. You would think in you know an industry like AI, which we've been talking about, it's the new thing. It's booming. They're supposed to take over all the jobs, and you would think one job that will be growing as a result is prompt engineers or somebody to help with the growth of AI. But that's interesting. That 153 applications.
People are laying people off left and right, man, and it's because of AI taking over. They're laying. Who I just read an article just laid off 400 people. I can't remember who it was, but they're laying off people left and right, and keeping the ones that are there that know the job that can do the prompting. You know, this is such a transitional period for everything, for every single thing. It's a trip. The job market happened to be happening right now during this administration. What's going on? AI. It's a very interesting time. There is a lot of stuff to be keeping track of right now, for real.
It really is, and we're gonna try our best to dive into it in this last 40 or so minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know if this is the company you were just thinking of, but this is definitely something that caught my eye on Friday. Block is a major tech company talking about AI companies who just laid off about 4,000 of its 10,000 employees. So, you know, just pulling a quick story to kind of exemplify exactly what it is that you're talking about. As far as, again, tech industries, you think tech, some of the fastest growing industries right now, you would think they would be expanding, but no. And this is coming from one of the tech bros, if you will. A letter to shareholders. This is an article from Forbes magazine. A letter to shareholders written by chairman and co-founder Jack Dorsey. Yes, that Jack Dorsey, CEO, former CEO of Twitter, now known as X, saying that 4,000 employees were being asked to leave or enter into consultation, meaning some portion were likely to still consider necessary, but not with the benefits of employment. Dorsey wrote that 2025 was a quote unquote strong year for the company, with gross profit growth more than doubling between the first and fourth quarters. All sorts of things were going well, he wrote. However, the fourth quarter of 2025, saw 24% growth. Again, more and more growth, saying we believe the financial performance is just the beginning to reflect the product development. Saying we have already seen our strategy start to come to life and what we deliver to customers every day. So again, some of that growth actually going in the opposite direction as far as jobs go. And we're seeing that across the board. I think Brother McCarthy's, experience in his thing is not a anomaly as far as what the job market is really looking like. And what does that mean for the bottom line? What I want to really focus on here in the second hour actually is the economic plan of Brother Jesse Jackson, who recently just passed. And quite interestingly, they didn't even let the brother rest in the rotunda. It's a whole nother conversation. But I did want to honor, his legacy and some of the strategies and ideas that he pushed, namely his economic plan, which has 4 pillars, a few of which I wanted to focus on, one of which being the Wall Street Project. Mark Menner talking about 96. It seems like a lot of good things were happening in 1996. Again, 96 was also the year where the Wall Street Project was launched. The focus was to diversify the financial services industry, encourage investment in underserved communities, and increase access to capital. Also a part of his plan was supporting black banks, promoting the use of black-owned banks to keep capital circulating in the community, and of course, selective buying, using the economic power of black consumers to pressure white-owned businesses to hire black employees and contract with black-owned suppliers, essentially supporting black business in the industries or in the economy. Which again, we'll dive into what's going on with Iran and what that means for the oil and how the stock markets have responded. Kind of interesting to see which one of those of you in the chat are, in the stock market. Are you investing? Have you seen some movement in that regard? But Paul B., have you looked into the economic plan of Brother Jesse Jackson, and how do you think that applies to, again, the question of what can we do in this economic moment, I guess, in America?
I didn't get a chance to look at it too deeply. I kind of definitely going to set it aside and look into it. I just kind of skimmed over it when I saw it for the first time this morning. So I wanted to kind of dig in because I remember glimpses of, I have glimpses of memories from before of hearing about it, like back in the day, and hearing about what he wanted to do. And I just thought this is interesting that it's coming up right now during this time that we're always asking this question: what are we doing? What are we doing next? What can we do about it? And we always we always have examples and people from the past that have already asked that question, dug in, done some work, done some research, put some movements together and everything else. And then the question becomes, why didn't it not last, or what could be done to enhance that more in the future? And that's kind of where when I dig back into it, that's what the question I'm going to be asking myself. How can we take what has already been laid out here and apply it to now times and what we have to deal with now, and how would we tweak that and do something about that? So I would love to know that. I'd love to know what, I'd love to kind of approach it from that direction. So is anybody else in the chat heard remember Jesse Jackson's initiative here with his economic ideas and plans? Let us know if you remember anything from back in the day, if you're were around back in those days, or if you just know about it. Love to hear about it from you as well. If not, then this will definitely be something that we can dig into piece by piece, maybe talk about it over time and kind of really see that. Because I'm down for digging into whoever got a plan, whoever got some ideas here that we can draw from. So love to hear that. But I definitely will put it out to the chat there if you've heard any of that as well. Appreciate that. I see Brother Terrence Hayes in the chat. What's going on, cousin? Appreciate you coming in. Most definitely. Yeah, man. Yeah, we both looking at So let us know. Let us know if you have any thoughts on that as well, and let's talk a little bit more about some of the economic plans that there are out there for that. I just thought it was interesting too that they were saying, for Black economic power, which we are working on this series called Lanes of Change. One of the lanes is economic power, and we always run into this question: how do you build economic power in a capitalist society? Because you're kind of pushing back against the capitalism at the same time you're trying to gain some economic power in there. And some people don't see this nuance. Some people see it's one way or another. You're either gonna go for the money and get the money and do what you got to do, or you're gonna disinvest from all of it some kind of way. I don't know how you live when you do that, but that's all. These are always the questions that are happening there, and we just know. On one level, if you're going to be in this country and you're going to make any kind of thing move, and you got to finance it. I'm reading this book right now. The revolution will not be funded, so you gotta raise your own funds. It's not you're not gonna get funds from the government or funds from state or funds from philanthropy in order to fund a revolution. That's something that you gotta build some economic power within your group and do yourself. So what does Jesse Jackson have to say about it? What does other people who are in that other Black economists and people that are working towards this, what are they saying? What are people like Brother Kasim saying, who's in the BEAA and everything is let's do for ourselves. Let's buy our own land. Let's take care of our business. Let's build our own schools. How those things get funded. Talk to Dr. Umar, find out how the 7-year campaign went for him to be able to build the school that he's building now. So.
Which I did hear you just opened recently, the school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
finally. Yep. So, but hey, and people are just like, what, but they didn't give them a chance. Like, yeah, that's a major deal to put something like that together, raise the funds from your own people and build something. And it's going to take a little time for sure. Benson Theater took 5-6 years to build. Like, you talking about a whole school. So, I can understand like the dilemma here. The main thing is the fundraising. Who is funding these things? Where's the money coming from? You follow the money. How do you get it? What do you do? How do you fund a movement? These are all things that I'm really interested in knowing about since we're kind of in that. And I definitely am looking forward to digging in and hearing from one of the elders, one of the architects from before. Shout out to Jesse Jackson that had a plan.
Yeah. And to that point, there are a few comments I did wanted to jump into, but I wanted to kind of look at one of the first elements of the strategy, the concept of selective buying and boycotts. Again, one of Jesse's plans was using economic power of Black consumers to pressure white-owned businesses to hire Black employees and contract with Black-owned suppliers. Kind of similar to what we've seen Target do. If you remember, Target now has products, and they have even whole aisles and credenzas dedicated to Black creators and Black. But again, there's still the Target boycotts and all of those things. So again, that is one element of Jesse's plan that we are seeing play out in real time. How we feel about that? Let's kind of break it down and look at it piece by piece. As far as that portion of the plan, is that the idea? And as I think about that personally, I think it was Von Chapman who is in the chat, part of the conversation, that always asks, if we build these Black businesses in North Omaha, who's going to support them? Like, where's the money going to come from? Again, kind of going to Jesse's idea of, again, pressuring white-owned businesses to kind of funnel that money back into our communities that we know are, kind of struggling. Again, that's Jesse's idea. I'm kind of putting it to the peanut gallery. What say you? What say you, chat?
Kimber in the chat said, I met some people from Creighton last week at North Omaha Visitor Center, and they gave me a list of Black-owned restaurants that is about 2 pages long. Man. It's out there. Think about Empowerment Network's Revive magazine and some of the lists that they have for Black-owned businesses as well. How often do we frequent them? Is that the answer? Black economics, the answer? It's also a very good question. Also, what you just said about Jesse's plan, about white businesses coming over and handling it. I often think about that too. There's been when I first got in town, everybody was telling me, you gotta get the showcase back from my great grandfather owning the Allen Showcase. And the conversation that I had with Brother Maroney on that was basically, I would need to come up with a certain amount of money in order for that to trigger a certain amount of money that they had for the infrastructure in order to build something similar and close by. And I was like, that's reasonable. Let me go back and check that out and see if I can do that. And I did the numbers and couldn't really figure out how to make a business, the business that I was looking at opening at the time, work in North Omaha, because that was my question.
Hmm.
How my audience? How many people is going to frequent this place? Is there enough money in our community in order for this to happen? Kind of came to the conclusion that I would have to have things that other sides of other sides of Omaha would have to be drawn to. So in other words, if I was going to put together a jazz club, I'd have to maybe bring in a jazz artist that a lot of people from other sides of town know and would come over there exclusively to my club to be able to frequent that. In other words, you do everything with just black dollars
So
when
we
it comes to
talking.
business. I come from the music industry as well, and this is a major thing in the music industry as well.
Mm.
In the
Yeah.
music industry, you want to get to them that Drake status. Most of your people in the audience gonna be some white folks. If you don't
Run
have
DMC.
crossover, if you don't got crossover music, then you're gonna stay at a certain level because you can be the biggest hit in the black community, and everybody in the black community can buy you. But the black community is 10 to 15% of the whole of the country. So if you're looking at selling millions and millions of records, then you're definitely selling to different cultures. And if you don't have anything that can cross over to those cultures, then you just aren't going to get to that kind of status. A lot of people are fine with being like, I make for black folks, I sell for black folks. I make enough money from touring and records and everything to do what I do, and I don't got to cross over. And that's plenty money there too. But if you're gonna get Drake status, if you're gonna get Kendrick status, you got to be winning Pulitzer prizes, and you got to be. I was at Odo for one of the soft openings, and one of my boy dropped an album cut for an album Kendrick cut, and
Mm.
every in the 45 white girls that was in there that was under the age of 25 knew every single lyric to that Kendrick song. And I was a little bit, I always get taken aback with that. I'm a DJ, so this happens all the time where I'll play some Brother Lynch hung or something crazy, and somebody will be like, I'm like, how you know all the words of this? So it's a phenomenon anyway, but it just reminded me, and it's happening again. Like, Kendrick Black, Kendrick for us. Kendrick is West Coast music as far as I'm concerned. And I'm always shocked when people of other cultures know every single word. And they're into it that heavy too. But he wouldn't be as big as he was if other cultures weren't touched. Is this the same thing with business? Is this how it is? How many times have I gone to a taco spot and got to be like, I need that hot that you guys eat in the back. Give me that hot sauce because this stuff you serving out here is super mild. Why? Because they're in Omaha, Nebraska selling tacos, bro. They got to have the mild sauce because a lot of white folks out here don't like nothing too spicy. Well, let us know. I'm trying to dig in on it. I'd like to know. Let me get into the chat here because I'm seeing the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm following your thread.
Following this thread though. Appreciate you coming in, Brother Haynes. He says, my apologies, Grand Rising to you as well. Appreciate you. I'm kind of backed up a little bit, very much so
Yeah,
in the chat.
test been going off.
Yeah. Sean McCarthy says there's been a lot of 10-year retrospectives on the stuff that came out in 2016. Beyonce's Lemonade, Rihanna's anti Solange A Seat at the Table, and Frank Ocean's Blonde. That's interesting. Michael Watts in the chat saying, in track record of those requesting funds. Okay. Terrace Hayes says, we don't ask for what we need from one another because of the fear of hearing no. So you think that we just aren't asking for what we need from our people when it comes to that's interesting. I'd love to see that. Interesting. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Good morning. He says, what's the fundamental challenge of our day? It is to end economic violence. Jackson said on July 19th, 1986 in his speech to the Democratic National Convention when running for president. Appreciate that insight. He said Jackson wanted everyone to understand that policy choices that send economic shock are violence. That sudden layoffs, like plants closing without notice, functions as violence. I think that's why the dude that just the Twitter guy that just laid off 4,000 people via tweet. By the way, that's how he fired everybody with the tweet. It feels violent like that. There's a lot of people are feeling that. Sean McCarthy says, "My heart goes out to the students who were told to become computer programmers and now have roughly 80,000 in student loan debt, with near zero entry level job prospects."
Mm,
Yeah, man. As soon as AI hit, I thought, "Ooh, how long we've been talking about people going to school for coding?
man.
All of a sudden, you don't need to code. That's heavy." Brother Pena Valadares gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Also, he said. Also, Terrace Hay says, "All skinfolk and kinfolk. There are gatekeepers in North Omaha. Always have a reason why something can't happen. Education of self is still the greatest key to success." Love that. Also, Tony Johnson says, "What are the top 5 business opportunities that could be supported by current Black community?" That's a good question. What are the top
Okay,
5 business opportunities?
it's a good question.
It's a good question. I think about this every day. Actually,
Really?
yeah, I really do, because I'm an entrepreneur, so my mind is always,
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem? What's needed? What are we missing out here? What could there be? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. All
Mark
right.
Manor. He said Mao Taco guilty. Mark Manor said Mao Taco guilty.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, bro. Like it is. I've asked restaurateurs that, why. I'm like, yo, bro. When I first started coming here, man, your stuff was spicy. What happened? He's just like, hey, hey, you got to cater to your audience, bro. We got way more white folks coming in here than y'all, so we needed to have stuff that they like too, like straight up. So, so I literally got it marked because of your mild taco guilty. I literally got to be like, I need the hot that you guys got in the back of the fridge that you guys use on your stuff. Could I get some of that? And they would
Yeah.
literally come out with like a bot, like literally like there's something they would never serve it. They were coming out with stuff that was like, here. It would be in an old mayonnaise bottle or something like that. Here's some real stuff. But it is what it is. It kind of makes me just think of that. It makes me think of like, well, where you at? I've been that entrepreneur that's been guilty of like, I'm gonna make this thing because it'll be cool, not giving no attention to the audience or the area that I'm in. Like,
Location.
bro, I opened up a record store on Kauai. Ain't nobody in the 2000s. Didn't nobody even have a record player, let alone that mug lasted about 2 years, bro. For real, like because I'm always feeling like this is what we about. But as soon as I get to that idea, like, yeah, let me think about who the audience is or what area I'm in right now. How would that business work? That's when things get real touchy. Terrace Hayes though saying like, we, all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. You're saying we got it here. Um, and I feel like what you're telling me is that if everybody if we was getting along, we would be able to have enough business to support each other. Um, I still feel like we got to think about where we're at, buddy. You in Atlanta, so you got
Okay.
to have a different perspective on if you open up a black business in Atlanta, it's gonna go because of the audience, the customer base. Got to be a different. We couldn't open up a franchise. It had to be a different situation. If we were like, we got a restaurant in Omaha, for instance, and then we gonna franchise that out in Atlanta next.
I'm trying to think about it, man, because it is almost to this very point. Why is Atlanta looked at as like a black economic
Mm.
hub? Why is it like this? And you might be onto something, because that is a reality of living in Atlanta, as far as the saying that Atlanta is not a real place. The idea that we're in a bubble here in Atlanta, and it is a very real thing. And when people go to areas like Omaha, like anywhere else in the country, really, where black folk, quote unquote, aren't the majority, you feel it and you see it, and the support of people starting like a slutty vegan. Would that work anywhere else?
Well, I mean, they franchise those in different cities, but not. I can't
The
see it
way
working here.
the way it blew up. You know, man, we're just having a conversation actually with a few friends of mine. The Atlanta Hawks are doing a Magic City night. You know what I mean? Like culturally, it's so like culturally there's something here that allows business and you know what I mean, things to go in a way that is the city supports it. Like the city of Atlanta has a nightlife coordinator. Like it's there's things here that I see in Atlanta that I don't see in other cities. And I've been to places like Miami, Vegas, and you know what I mean, that also have a vibrant nightlife. But the culture and just how it is embraced here in Atlanta is unique. So to that point, I kind of feel what Brother Terrence Hayes is saying. As far and you think of the trillions of dollars that annually, specifically the black community, as far as spending power has. We've talked about it as far as spending power. Um, I forget the actual number, but it's in the trillions as far as what we actually spend. Um,
And
just
when you say we, you're talking about black folks in the whole country,
yes,
uh, which is a different kind of percentage of black folks that are in Omaha. You know what I'm saying? Like, or in Nebraska in general. And in Nebraska in general, this is what I'm saying. It's how I guess the question is like, how do you make a black business thrive in Omaha, Nebraska? And does it have to do with the numbers? So you're talking about culture. You're saying culture out in Atlanta, but culture only happens as strongly as it's happening there because there's the numbers of black folks out there that make up the majority of certain areas. That means the majority of that area is going to have a certain culture. The majority of the areas in Omaha have different cultures here, and that means that the majority of the culture of Omaha and Nebraska in general is a certain culture. Is that that follows that, and anything that is another side of that is like exotic. I'm thinking about Terrace Hayes' cousin's restaurant that he had here too. It was tough going. It was tough going to have that restaurant here because it was in North Omaha. We're dependent on black folks really to come frequent that. The menu was definitely something that was for us. Brother Terrence is pro-black, and he wanted to be a black meeting space and a place where we was comfortable being at and eating and so on. Tough. Everybody that I ever see in any of those businesses is tough that way. Anthony Rogers Wright is saying, talking about the 5 industries, solar panel manufacturing and installation about to blow up.
that's
I
interesting.
can see it. Yeah, we talk a lot about clubs and restaurants and stuff like that, but yeah, other industries that are
Definitely energy.
energy manufacturing for sure. Also, RG says, "BZ, that's why you got to roll like the other older black women and bring your own hot sauce in your jacket." Oh, bro, you trust me, bro. Done deal. I had one on the keychain once. Also, uh, who's a, let me see. Oh, Pops in the chat saying in the '70s, Paul Senior, my great grandfather himself, said he could see the handwriting on the wall that a place like the showcase would soon no longer be able to be supported by the local citizens.
Hmm.
Pops, Grandpa Pop shut that down 1985, or not shut it down. He actually sold the building in 1985. So he shut down the showcase in the 80s. And if Pops is saying that it was because he saw the writing on the wall that in a little while it wouldn't be able to sustain or maintain. I go to Noma pretty much every other week now. Monday nights, nothing but white kids in there. Nothing but white kids in there. They get down too, by the way. If you check out
Hmm.
Noma on a Monday night, them white kids is playing some blues and jazz, bro, for real,
Okay. Okay.
for real.
Little
Students,
JD back in there. A little.
man, like that. Like I don't know about that. Not that
Yeah,
level,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
almost,
yeah, yeah,
almost.
yeah. They getting there.
That's what we looking like in there for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah. So if Noma's not hitting, if there's places that are not, if people aren't coming to the Deuce, especially if people aren't coming to the Deuce, it's because they ain't feeling like there's nothing here for them. So everybody in the Deuce is doing a massive effort to be like, this is for everybody in the city. Come here and do your thing. Same thing when I go to the visitor center. Be a whole lot of folks in there from the visitor center. Also, Highlander. How much are they integrated and hooked up with Creighton Creighton students are sitting in there all the time. There's a Creighton office in there. Big Mamas is only Big Mamas because of the fact that they're marketing geniuses, because they've been on 3 or 4 national food shows. Like how do you make it as a black business in Nebraska?
Speaking of Big Mamas, anybody got any word on that? I'm hearing whispers. Anybody got any updates?
Not sure. I think a Hungry Club's still going on. I talked to Gladys about doing the podcast. So, I think that they got some other ideas, but I haven't heard anything about whether or not they were closing down. That was a rumor, and I haven't heard. I don't know yet if that rumor is confirmed, but I do know this. I do know that one of the reasons why they have been so successful is because of the fact that they had so much national attention, and there's white folks that are coming not just from other parts of Nebraska, but other states around Nebraska, driving through, coming. I want to stop here. I heard about this place on Diners and Dives or whatever, and it's coming through. Terrace, I appreciate you, Brother Hayes. He says it was tough because the gatekeepers waged a war to block me and not support me because I was outspoken about the buck dancing and cooning, and even though I'm a pro-black, I was never into white, and had plenty of clients growing that didn't look like us. Okay,
yeah, I mean the product's good. People gonna come.
We have to talk more about that. I want to hear more about your experience there for sure. Pop says, honestly, many Mexican dishes in the USA don't even exist in Mexico. These dishes have been created and modified for white Americans. Same for many Chinese dishes. It's all about who the clients are. That's true. That's true. I was in Italy, like, where the pizza at? And they're like, what? We don't really do like that here. it's in New York. That's where the pizza at. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, Brother Hayes says we are scared of us in Omaha, man.
Now, also, I want to acknowledge something else. Brother Hayes said. He says black people in Nebraska collectively make up the 3rd largest city in the state. We have numbers, but are still being segregated from the wealth and each other. Which I am kind of thinking about the segregation from each other point, like going back to what Sister Kimber said about black restaurants specifically in Omaha being 2 pages long, and trying to think of, like, do I know that mean, black owned restaurants in the area, and how many of them aren't in North Omaha, to your point, how many of them are in other, quote unquote, more diverse areas of the city, or maybe not diverse areas of the city. And what is their customer base?
Very true. I missed this one. Anthony Rogers Rice said, AUC, Spelman, Morehouse, Clark, Morris Brown has always been an epicenter of black excellence. The Atlanta way is a legendary organizing model to boot. I'm glad you reminded me about that too. Like, the reason why there's the culture in Atlanta is what it is too, is the audience. We keep coming back to the audience. That's really what this is about. I feel like you got to kind of Marlon Harrison. Now y'all got me hungry. 2 plate Marlon. Yeah, I feel you, bro. So I understand what's happening. I definitely want to hear more about how these gatekeepers, how people that you are calling gatekeepers blocked you from business. I really want to hear that. Also, he says I was never anti-white, cousin. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being pro-black don't mean anti-white to me. That's not what I wasn't calling you that at all.
Right.
I'm just saying, you care about your people, and you were doing for your people. You were, that's what you were there for. That's what the vibe was. It kind of felt like how the visitor center is feeling now. Like, this is a place for us. That's how I thought of your spot. This is a place for us, and we feel comfortable here. I remember bringing some folks there that they were like, well, where's the black people need at? Over here. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like what we felt like. And yeah, I definitely saw people of all different races and all different backgrounds in that space as well. I know that, good food is good food. They go, it ain't nothing specifically just for black folks that other people can't enjoy as well. And you were very accommodating to everybody coming in there for sure. So yeah, I definitely want to hear more about how the gatekeepers, as you're calling them, blocked business. I would love to know about that. Maybe we can do an interview over the phone or something like that, and really kind of talk about that, or have you on the show. I don't know if you were interested in doing that, but I'd love to hear that. Michael Watts in the chat is saying a lot of businesses seem niche. What they provide, I might use once or twice a year. Everything else is food and not healthy per se. So consumption limited for health. Agreed. Yes, we need different industries. I feel like in the black community as well. There is a tendency to, we kind of also really go for like what we feel like is missing. So, we need restaurants in North Omaha. We definitely need food. We need grocery stores. We definitely need that. We need housing. How many people are doing development?
Food deserts.
Food deserts.
Right. Definitely something we're trying to combat. But as we're talking about this, it is that conversation. You know what I mean? Like, where are the black dentists? Where are the black lawyers? Where are the black chiropractors? Those types of things. And we talk about, like, is that really the thing? As far as like catering, quote unquote, to the quote unquote majority white America. Like, is that the thing? Is that the only way to survive economically?
Yeah, that's what it's really got me wondering. Is that the answer? Because we've been saying buy black for a minute, but is buying black the answer? Is it only that? Is it only like the way that because what problem are we trying to solve? Are we trying to solve survival? Are we trying to solve economic power? Economic power is a totally different subject. You have enough money in order to influence certain things that are happening on the level of local politics and everything else. Or are you just talking about making enough money for everybody to be able to thrive and survive, or for programs and things to happen and help people that need it, family support and so on? Like, what exactly is the goal here with the economic power in the first place? And if we figure, if the answer to that will tell me whether or not we're pushing for everything to be, let's buy everything black owned and boycott our dollars elsewhere, being the answer. I know it's part of the answer. Mm-hmm. Got to be part of the answer. But now I'm kind of wondering we've been talking about this kind of thing for years. You know what I'm saying?
Going back to the article we were talking about with Block and the layoffs. Again, this is a conversation I was having with some friends talking about Jay-Z and the fact that Jay-Z is, when we talk about economic, power and whether or not, it's not like we're living in Jim Crow where like we have black billionaires, you know what I mean? Like, some people can point to a Kanye West or to a Jay-Z and like, well, they can make it in this day and age, but at the same time, how did they make their money? And again, Jay-Z is actually a board member of Block who just laid off 4,000 people. So again, by all means, what black business billionaires aren't invested in solely a part of capitalism, just the system of capitalism.
Right. Buddy, I'm gonna need you to bring Killer Mike on because he's been a proponent for black capitalism, capitalism. Mm-hmm. We need to talk to him a little bit more about that. Anthony Rogers Rice says there are black lawyers, chiropractor folk in Omaha. Their businesses are just located out west where they can make money. Yeah. Very, very true. I'm really excited. I feel like Follow the Money season is for us to have this exact conversation right here. So I'm actually feeling like the mission of the season of us naming the season this and digging in is because to have this conversation right. What are we doing?
And there's so much going on in that regards. There are a few things. There's so much going on. Like, 2 hours really ain't enough, but we ain't doing three. But a few things that actually Brother Anthony Rogers mentioned earlier, as far as Jesse Jackson kind of coinciding economy and what we're seeing as far as policies and the effects of those policies economically to violence, and kind of making me think of what's going on in Cuba, and that also is being looked at as economic violence from America. And without getting into a whole in this last 6 minutes rabbit hole, what we're seeing also with Iran makes me think of the Iran-Contra war and the fact that, it's tied to the crack epidemic. And this government sold crack in our communities in order to fund proxy wars in partnership with Iran. So again, thinking of all these things, we got to acknowledge the impact of economic violence on these communities, on our communities, and how all of these things are connected. What we're seeing with Cuba, Iran, the crack epidemic in our communities, it's all connected.
I'm thinking of Minneapolis right now, where they're enacting violence by taking away Medicaid from people.
Man,
these are acts of economic violence.
So ultimately, my question is, we gotta. It is both. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the system, so we got to figure out how to navigate it. But we got to have real conversations about how to get out of this system as well. Also, I wanted to acknowledge somebody mentioned earlier. I think it was Tony Johnson in the chat said the more chaotic things get, the more money he makes. I asked if anybody was invested in the stock market. Again, we talking about moving dollars in our community. One way is access to capital, and not just starting a business and having everybody go shop at that business, but other things like venture capitalism. How do we move and get actual multi-million-dollar investments to start those businesses the way they need to be started? What does that look like as far as black venture capitalism? I think there's billions and billions of dollars and capital dollars that have to be spent and invested in other. That's how capital works. But again, what percentage of that is controlled by black firms? What percentage of that is controlled by Hispanic minority firms? Like, how much a part of that aspect of the economy are we a part of as well? And again, this is a lot of kind of word vomit. It's all coming out. But again, these are the conversations. How many of us are looking at what's going on with oil prices as Iran and America keep bombing and seizing ships? And of course, it's being reported now that OPEC is picking up on their oil drilling, and a lot of movement as far as the stock market. Shout out to Yahoo Finance. Again, how many of us are also looking at these things when we're talking about surviving in this market?
Yeah. Venezuela was just happened. One of the largest oil producers in the world. Just, you see what just happened with them. This economic violence that they just put on them.
Man,
Venezuela is one of the main oil providers to Cuba. So now they're cut off, which is why people in Cuba are walking around in the dark. Things are all the way jacked up, literally, in Cuba. Tough. Where's your place in it? For sure, we definitely need to see what's happening here on really kind of thinking about those things. So I appreciate everybody that's joining in this conversation. Like I said, this is one of those ones that it's going to be an ongoing conversation. The reason why we are devoting a whole season to Follow the Money is to have these exact kinds of conversations, because we got to see what we got to do next. In the chat, Stacey McLean Honeycutt, who is a business owner. Just when we talk about black business, I'll be thinking about her. I'll be thinking about people like Shawnee. Shout out, new business alert. Shawnee Hernandez Island Chill 402 is at 3911 Ames Street. She finally got a brick and mortar. I don't know if she finally, I think she was really rocking the trucks for a while, like that was the plan. And now she's at a brick and mortar. So again, when this kind of stuff comes up, I get excited. I'm absolutely going to go to Island Chill and check out the new spot. I'm absolutely going to go to Dreamland Lounge and check out Katie Rain's spot. I'm absolutely going to frequent that. I budget. I'm sitting here looking at my budget right now after I pay the rent. What do I have to be able to go out and frequent some of these spots and support the fam out here with the business? Like, for sure. Is that helping? What is that creating economic power? I don't know about all that, but I do know that it's putting a couple of dollars in their pockets, in the black community's pockets, which is our pockets collectively. So we supporting them, they supporting us, and we trying to keep the dollars in the community. I mean, all those things are important too. Is it generating economic power? That's a question for another day.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate what our brother Terrence Hayes is saying in the chat, talking about violence. And, really economic power is the power to protect yourself from economic violence. If you ask me, he says violence is an act to hurt or harm another, another individual or group of people intentionally. So again, we talk about the crack epidemic. We talk about some of the things that have been unleashed on our communities and looking at it through the lens of economic violence. And I appreciate your question. When we talk about by looking at this thing, through the lens of economic violence, it kind of answers the question for me. What does economic power actually look like? And if you can't protect yourself from violence, how powerful are you really? Is it having black billionaires like Jay-Z and is that real economic power, or is it something entirely different? Don't have enough time to answer that question here, but definitely that's where the thoughts are. Again, appreciate everybody in the conversation. Paul, what say you?
I started to write what I was going to make one of my big epic films when I was probably about 26 or so. And part of the beginning of that film was how Jay-Z, Oprah, and Cosby, and a whole bunch of other people that had a whole lot of money built a nation in Central California and took it over, and was building their own nation, and using their dollars in order to fund basically to take over a piece of the state of California and Nevada that was about as big as Texas, and the whole economic and political reasons behind why they did that and how they did it and how they had to build their own army in order to protect it and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Man, it's funny you said that, because I'm thinking of economic power and economic violence, but let's be real. We've done this before, had this conversation, and faced real violence. I mean, not even just, the bombing of Black Wall Street, but I'm thinking of Redwood in Florida. You know what I mean? Man, I'm thinking of some of the power that was claimed in Wilmington, North Carolina, when they had, black elected officials, and they basically burned down so yeah.
I'm thinking about all the lakes. I'm thinking about Central Park. I'm thinking about all the places that black communities are sitting under, that they've taken away. So I didn't continue on with that script because it's a very juvenile way of thinking of things now when I look back on it. But that's the first place you go when you're like, well, what do you do about this thing? Well, we got to have our own. Well, what's our own? Well, we got to have our own champions, our own people that invest. Then we build our own banks, and we build our own businesses, and we buy a bunch of land, and a bunch of us go live on that land, and a bunch of us spend money with each other on that land. And then what happens when they come to bomb it, like Black Wall Street? Well, we have an army that's going to we'll build our own army to stop the bombing. It's going to be up there in Central California, so the descendants of the Black Panther Party are going to build the army for us. And we, you know what I'm saying, it seems real juvenile of a thought now, but there's something about why that would come to a young person's mind first when you're trying to solve the problem of economic power in a capitalist society called this country, which is the corporation, and the politicians are basically the bankers of this corporation. Terrace says billionaires cannot save us. They're controlled. If they could help us, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Totally.
Yeah. And the reality is,
juvenile thought back in the day to think that Oprah and Jay-Z would put their money together and come build a black community. What?
It's all in how you get your billions. How do you get your billions?
Right.
Because if you're a billionaire and you're getting your billions, which is some, you brought up Killer Mike earlier, that is some criticism that I heard from Killer Mike. Like, people, Killer Mike definitely shout out to bruh. But he, he's a business owner as well. He's definitely, making money and benefiting from some way, shape, or form from the form of capitalism, even, investing in the stock market, which, humans were the first stock of the stock market. Is that something that you really want to invest in? Is that something you really want to be a part of? Is that something you really want to build upon? But that's capitalism in America. Forming your own impression.
I mean, not to mention, if you are going to dive into stocks, what are some of the highest performing stocks out here?
Man, like somebody said in the chat, more chaos.
You're gonna start investing in oil now? You're gonna start investing in prisons?
It's up. Those stocks are up.
All them stocks are you're gonna capitalize on Venezuela getting attacked. Oh, because this is what we were talking about. I know there's time to go, but uh, earlier today, um, talking about how upset we are about what's happening right now in Iran and the things that are this I got the text from you like Trump didn't look like he didn't start a World War III. Like
Man,
we don't even know what's getting ready to happen here with this situation with Iran. I get up and listen to Marketplace this morning, and they're talking about the price of oil and what gas prices are going to be like now that Iran has been attacked. And they're just saying that. Well, so after the U.S. attacked Iran, then this is what, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how is it that we're talking about what the gas prices are going to be like after people done died in this war and we are scared the nuclear war happening? Like, how is this the conversation? It's because that's this country.
there
That's
you go.
this country. This country going to talk about how the gas prices are going to dip now because they're going to control Iran. It's got done controlling Venezuela, blah, blah, blah. Like craziness, bro.
Solid
So,
petrodollar. Solid petrodollar. And in this last couple of minutes, that's kind of the big thing for me in having these conversations is not, talk. I mean, of course, we have to acknowledge and talk about it. The economic violence that we as a people in many communities in this country have dealt with throughout the history of this country, but also not just talk about the past, not just talking about the present, but look, being realistic about the future and what that means. And if you're holding your ass, and I'm guilty too, if we're continuing to hold our assets in US dollars, we're tripping. The writing is on the wall. And that's the big conversation. It's not even just about capitalism. It's being honest about the sinking ship that is the American economy. And all of these things are writing on the wall. Again, are we investing in gold? Are we investing in crypto? Are we investing in land? Are we investing in these other things? Because again, it's not just about our own, surviving through racism of America. Great Depression can happen again.
mm, so true. Capitalism, definitely some problems with that as a formula in the real way. Terrence Hayes is saying capitalism is the use of money, but we can have a choice on how we make it, use it, and invest it. There's some parts of capitalism that there's some rules to capitalism that doesn't work unless those rules are followed. And one of those rules is that somebody got to lose.
Yeah.
You stepping on somebody. So the more we get into, the more we got to, we understand. And again, like this is why we keep on having these conversations. It's a nuanced conversation. How do we thrive and survive and do what we got to do and help our community and so on in a society that we're also trying to kind of battle, like this is something else. This is something we got to think about. Anthony Rogers right. The U.S. economy is an illusion and arbitrary exercise. Empires fall, and so will this one.
Pretty much. Are we ready for the fall is really my question. Because yes, I agree. It's falling before our very eyes. Are we ready?
We're ready to get out of here. It's already 7 minutes past our agreed upon time. We appreciate you guys hanging with us, even though we agreed to end at 9. You guys are still around, so thank you so much, and thank you for your comments. Thank you for all the comments that the conversation that we had today, and everybody who joined us, especially people that are joining us from outside Omaha as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, out there in San Diego, man. No, I want to be in San Diego right now.
Man, San Diego's beautiful, man. Been out to the marina. Yeah, it's
I don't even want to talk about it no more. Let me talk about it.
Blue waters.
All right, y'all gave me an earthquake here, so I feel a little bit at home.
Way to make a guy feel at home.
Thanks for the shake. It's going down. Appreciate everybody coming through. One more comment. Donnell Sessions says, "I think economic violence is someone taking your business name and idea." That's part of it.
That's capitalism, though. Hey,
mechanisms for all of that. Great conversation. Thank you so much. We'll definitely come by and visit us again on Wednesday from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Zadika Poindexter from Writers Collective will be joining us on Wednesday. So it'll be a great conversation. We can talk about the kids getting into the writing and so on and so forth. Shout out to
P-Got Corner.
P-Got Corner is going down. Shout out to Zadika Poindexter, who will be visiting us this Wednesday. And then another special guest on Friday that it is to be announced. And then, of course, Senator Cypher coming on back Monday. We'll be checking back in with Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Ashley Spivey. So get your questions ready for that and check out some of these bills that are, what status the bills are.
Yeah.
It's really going down. I was just thinking about Terrell McKinney's, last time he came on, he was talking about his 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 bill. He has a what do you call it, a priority bill, LB 962. So we'll have to definitely check that out. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we got a lot more to talk about. Youth are asking for jobs. Economically is rough out here. Having to take care of themselves leads down to the wrong path sometimes.
Man,
These are we talk about these things because they directly affect our lives of our families, our kids, and so on. Economically, follow the money is huge. So we'll keep on doing it. We appreciate everybody coming through. Wanda Lewis says digital currency is going to be the future for sure.
man,
I'm seeing a lot of that. Priorities. I hear that, Michael Watts. Definitely. Also, RG says that's a jack move or ganking, as QB's called.
man.
Used to say.
Run
Yeah.
trying to gank fools. Hey,
Out here
that's
ganking.
America for you though. Run that oil. Run that.
Run the oil. That needs to be the next rap group coming out.
Man.
It's going
No
down.
snaps on the petro.
Ganking fools. I stole on them, ganked him. Give me some words for the people, buddy.
Man, I really appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. We thank you as always for joining us, joining the conversation, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. More importantly, even those of you monitoring spirits, ghost listeners, we appreciate you as well. Man, hopefully we got some food for thought for you today and cause more clarity than confusion. Again, hopefully we can do it again next time. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here. First Guy Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey, and also reminding the people again, we kind of opened the show with some resources, trying to again recognize and just acknowledge that people out there struggling, people need help, and again, we are trying all that we can to do that in the form of information. So definitely check out the community resources page on firstguyomaha.com. You can go to firstguyomaha.com/community resources, or you can check out at the bottom of our homepage. There's a button you can click community resources and check it out. You see some of those resources on your screen, some of our partners highlighted in that. So yeah, go ahead and check it out and help those in need, man. And also, if you have any more information that we should add to that, feel free to email us at firstguyomaha@gmail.com, and we'll try to add that to it, man. It is a growing list, so we appreciate everybody who has helped so far, man. So with that, Paul B, go ahead and take it away, man.
Man, while you're over there on that resource page, go ahead and jump up to the first page, hit that join button, and
Hey.
become a member or a sponsor of the channel as well. Shout out to the $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. Speaking of black economics and helping us
Man.
do what we do, we appreciate everybody who is a member. If you're so inclined to become a member as well, so we can keep this conversation going, not just the conversation, but the organization that we have here, bringing people together in order to make some change, then please consider becoming a member. Go to firstguyomaha.com, hit the join button, and become a member or a sponsor of the channel. And also like and subscribe over there on YouTube, if you will, too. We're trying to build our audience up on YouTube because YouTube can serve as a help for us to be able to monetize the channel and keep this thing rolling as well. And do some things we got coming up this week with the resources, and also Content Creator Camp this year. Also, the Chad Chambers kickbacks happen in the summer, and then the Fun Fest is happening in the fall. So all these things that are coming up and more, we absolutely need your help and assistance as we're sitting here talking about how we connect with black businesses and why we would support. We're also asking for the support, and we know that we're asking for support from everybody in the community that is finding that what we're doing here has some value, which is the only real reason why you would support something in the first place. So if you think we do, whoever you are, you know that this is for you. We appreciate you, and we'll continue to bring this and do the best we can out here while we go in order to, just bring you some information and some food for thought and all the things that we are trying to offer here. So we appreciate it. Pop says, love the show. As always, see you all on Wednesday. Appreciate you, Pops.
Thank you.
Yep. Tisa Harden said, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning to you. So are we there? Pink Lotus Project, Nebraska. What are we talking about?
No, talking about the resources page. Send us your information. Send us your information to firstguyomaha@gmail.com. I just looked, you're not on there, but we would love to add you. And again, if anybody else has any information, again, just let us know what your organization is, what you offer, some links to your social media, websites, things like that. We'll check you out and put you down.
That's with it. Let's get busy. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you Wednesday. Again, Zadika Poindexter is going to join us. It's going to be a great conversation. She's always a lot of fun. And we'll be talking about some very important artistic things for the kids and the babies.
Hey, P got corner. Let's get it.
All right. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We'll see you Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red